Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is a brief video to speak about some of the meanings and the keywords of Surah Al Adiyat, which is the 100th chapter of the Quran. This surah, the opening 5 verses, gives us descriptions. Allah takes an oath by something and He describes it rather than naming what Allah Azza wa Jal is speaking about. And the description that is given is that it is an animal of some sort that gallops, and because it gallops, al-adiyat, it is panting because of how much it is galloping. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse number 2 continues to describe it as something because of the speed by which it travels. When its hooves hit the ground, there are sparks that emanate from their hooves. In verse number 3, that they converge at the time of dawn early in the morning. Number 4, in verse number 4, that as they are traveling in those numbers and at that speed, they are stirring up clouds of dust. And number 5, they are stopping or coming or converging in the middle of something. Most of the scholars of tafsir and what you'll find in most translations say that these descriptions are the horses that are engaging in warfare. And so Allah speaking about the horses as they are riding into battle. And Allah Azza wa Jalla is praising these horses and their riders because they are sacrificing themselves and their wealth for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other scholars of tafsir and other companions are of the position that it's referring to the camels that are traveling for the Hajj. And both of these descriptions, or these descriptions fit both of those animals in both contexts, so both are correct. And what actually is being referred to, therefore, whether it's the camels or the horses, whether it's Hajj or Jihad, Allah Azza wa Jalla is referring to the blessings of those people who use their wealth to please Allah. They're going to sacrifice from their money, they're going to sacrifice from their possessions, they're going to take out their time, and so on. Those things that are precious to them, and they're going to use some of that in the worship of Allah and to please Allah. That's what Allah loves. And that's why in verse number 6, Allah says that indeed mankind is lakanud, ungrateful. Most people are ungrateful. Allah gives them so much, Allah blesses them and honors them with so much. What do with that? They ignore Allah, neglect Allah, are heedless of Allah, disobey Allah, use the very blessings Allah gave to them to commit major sins and to turn away from Allah's obedience. And Allah says that people are witnesses. Shaheed means they're a witness over that themselves. Why do they do this? Because Allah says they love. Hub means love. They love that which is good, meaning the pleasures and the trappings of this life. They love it with an extreme love, shadid. They love the dunya so much that they're not willing to give zakah or sadaqah or spend in the way of Allah or donate or use that money for some beneficial purpose like seeking knowledge and learning Quran or whatever it may be, going for Hajj and Umrah. So Allah then gives us a stark warning. Don't people realize that they will soon be made to stand from their graves, al-qubur? Allah is going to resurrect them. They'll have to answer for this. They'll have to be judged and have to account for all of these blessings and what they did with them. And Allah will know what is in their chests and their hearts. And then Allah Azza wa Jal says that Allah is all aware. Allah is all aware, and on that day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal will reveal all. And Allah knows best. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.